What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content that we have coming out. Getting back just in time so we can get into our Marvel comics, we are starting off with X-Men Red issue number 3. If you have not been keeping up with this series, you need to check out the playlist in my description as well as the top of this video, because this line has been absolutely amazing. Though it hasn't explored as much of Arakko as I would like it to, not seeing as many mutants as we would like, we are getting introduced to at least a handful of individuals. As of late, we have seen a power struggle begin to break out. Storm, Magneto creating the Brotherhood of Arakko. And then we have Abigail Brand. She is trying to create her own X-Men team, one that is going to police the planet of Mars. Now we know Abigail Brand, she has very ill intentions. She is only out for herself, no matter what, at all costs. We have seen her as a double agent, a triple agent. The truth is, she is going to play whatever hand is best for her. The hand that she wants to play right now is sending Vulcan to try and take down TARN the Uncaring. If Vulcan is able to defeat TARN, this would mean he would be able to take his seat on the Circle, the governing council of Arakko. Make sure that you buy the comic, support the industry, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright guys, so we are getting into issue number 3, and this is freaking amazing. Al Ewing has been knocking it out of the park, and this is hands down the best issue yet. This is everything I expect it to be. Our story starting us off in the hatchery. The Five are resurrecting Cable, and with his resurrection, at the entrance of the hatchery, we have John Proudstar. And he is letting Cable know that it is time that they had a discussion. The two of them walking out of the hatchery. We see that Cable, he has a new arm installed. This arm having stealth technology that can block out everything to include telepaths, with Cable creating a fake conversation using deepfake. And so to the outside world, they all believe that John Proudstar is yelling at him, screaming at him. The truth is, this is a secret meeting. All of this secrecy is so they can talk about Abigail Brand. We have seen her become such a huge threat to everything that is going on. With her making all of these moves, it was inevitable for her to get noticed. But these two aren't the only ones that want to bring her down. This is where we see Manifold. Abigail Brand had recently tried to recruit him as part of her team, recognizing what she was really getting at, being able to see right through all of her lies. Manifold had stepped away from this, but he also recognized that Abigail is going to be a threat, that she is a very dangerous individual, and so now they plot. That's what's going to take us to Sword Station 2, also known as the Keep. We have Abigail Brand and Storm having a conversation. Storm is really trying to figure out what game that Abigail Brand is playing with everybody. The challenge has been put out there. Vulcan will face against TARN the Uncaring, because Vulcan is challenging the seat of loss. This seat that doesn't really have a tremendous amount of power, doesn't really have a lot of authority. There are other seats that they could have gone after. Abigail Brand seems dead set that Vulcan can take down TARN, referencing back to the time that Storm had faced off against TARN. The only reason Storm won that fight is because of TARN's ego, and ever since that fight, he has changed up his style drastically. He doesn't toy with people, he doesn't play with them, he doesn't gloat. He ends the fight instantly. Abigail Brand not really budging on any of this information, not letting Storm know why she's doing this, not letting her know anything. Storm is not a stupid woman. She knows 100% that Abigail Brand is hiding something. She has much bigger plans at play. With Storm walking out of the room, that's what takes us to the Autumn Palace, the structure that Magneto has created, his new sanctuary here on Arakko. This is where the Brotherhood of Arakko meet. The Fisher King, Storm, Da Costa, and Magneto. They are currently discussing the fight between TARN and Vulcan, trying to figure out what the point of all of this truly is. And while they don't really understand the end game just yet, if Vulcan somehow does beat TARN the Uncaring, this could be very dangerous grounds for them, because the person who takes down TARN the Uncaring is going to be loved by Arakko. They will be hailed as a hero. TARN the Uncaring was a horrible individual to many of the people, and though no one has been able to defeat him, no one but Storm, but if somebody did, they could be a very, very big threat. This is where they contemplate maybe sending Magneto to face TARN. An Omega level mutant is much more preferred to be on the council, and Magneto really does struggle with this because this is something he doesn't want to do. He tried doing all of the council stuff, the group really decisions, if you will. He tried this on Krakoa and he feels like he failed. He feels like he really didn't accomplish anything. He followed Charles and his dream, but at the end of the day he feels like it's just not working. With Magneto breaking down and talking about Anya, we see him start to cry. We see him really start to notice that he just doesn't have the heart to do any of this any longer. And we have Da Costa who calls him out on this. Because while Magneto, he may not want to do this, he knows Magneto pretty well, and he knows that Magneto, even though he may not want to do something, he still goes out and does it. He still feels compelled to go out and try. But Magneto says that he's not going to have any of this, and he walks out. And that is what takes us to the Circle Perilous. The arena is filled. Our two champions are standing in the middle of this arena. Vulcan and TARN the Uncaring. Abigail Brand watches up from the keep. Da Costa, he sits down next to Isca the Unbeaten as everyone prepares. This battle gets underway almost instantaneously. With a giant surge of energy, there is a blast between them and they are both sent in opposite directions. This is when TARN the Uncaring, he recognizes that he doesn't have any control over his gene control, and that is because part of Vulcan's gift is siphoning energy. That means any energy. Abigail Brand has been teaching him how to harness and really hone in this ability, how to use it properly, being able to eat mutant abilities. As TARN was taking away Vulcan's power, Vulcan was taking away TARN's. This is gonna be a fight of hand-to-hand combat. Everyone in the crowd, they are looking with much anticipation. No one really believing that Vulcan had an opportunity, but this is his chance. And Vulcan doesn't hold back. He lays in as many punches as he can get. With TARN just taking a beating, one of his face tentacles grabs hold of his arm. Shifting the momentum in this fight, we see TARN the Uncaring just start waylaying on him. Crunching his face, blood comes spewing out. TARN the Uncaring letting him know that he is nothing. Grabbing his arm and just snapping it backwards. He grabs hold of Vulcan's face and he smashes him into the ground. This is where we see the end of Vulcan, as TARN with no restraint just beats his head into a bloody pulp. This fight has been won. TARN the Uncaring is victorious. Vulcan lying dead. TARN yelling out to the crowd asking if there are any other challengers that would like to take him on. This is where we hear the thunderous voice of Magneto. Unable to turn away, unable to ignore the stain that TARN the Uncaring has put on this planet, Magneto is putting out the formal offer for them to do battle. TARN the Uncaring slowly beginning to get his powers and abilities back. He stalls just for a moment, allowing these powers to become stronger so he could end this fight instantly. While this whole spectacle has been going on, Isca the Unbeaten and Da Costa have been having a conversation. Da Costa, he's really playing mind games with her, letting her know that she may be Isca the Unbeaten, that she is never beatable, but the truth of the matter is that you can still lose without losing. Isca is really not understanding this. With Magneto arriving on scene, Isca the Unbeaten truly does believe that TARN the Uncaring is just going to wreck. Da Costa agreeing with her and letting her know that he bets TARN will win. Isca, in a fit of rage, she goes right after Da Costa. This is how she loses without losing. She wants TARN the Uncaring to die after everything that he has done, after all of the torture, all of the death. She has been waiting for the day that somebody takes down TARN, with Da Costa saying, "I bet you that he is going to win. Isca the Unbeaten cannot be beat." If this bet were to be wagered, TARN the Uncaring would undoubtedly win this fight. This is why she loses it. This is why she breaks. And this is also why she takes Da Costa's neck and she snaps it. As Storm rushes over there, she is too late to stop the murder, letting Isca know that she has gone too far. But she is in a fit of rage, telling Storm that she doesn't understand, trying to figure out why none of them are really comprehending what just happened, saying that it shouldn't be this way, that she can never lose. With her never losing, that means TARN will win. She doesn't want him to win. As we move back into the arena, we see Magneto and TARN. Enough time has now passed. TARN the Uncaring is asked the question, do you accept this challenge? His powers now back at full capacity. He says yes. He goes to say something else. He goes to say, "I accept the challenge." But the moment he said yes, the battle begins. Before TARN the Uncaring can even think, Magneto's helmet drops right onto his head. The rules of combat is you can bring an item that is non-mutant, non-magical, a knife, a staff, whatever you would choose. Magneto, he is choosing his helmet. His helmet, which blocks mental powers. This stops TARN the Uncaring from being able to do anything. He is absolutely helpless. And that helmet, it is of course made of metal. Magneto closing his fists, TARN the Uncaring begging for his life, begging not to die like this. In an instant, his head is squished. And so with his death, Magneto now sits in the seat of loss. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. This is, like I said, hands down my favorite issue so far. This was absolutely phenomenal. I really like the fight between TARN and Vulcan because we are seeing how truly powerful Vulcan is. Being able to harness and hone his ability to do the exact same thing that TARN can do, just in a different way. Both of them stealing their abilities. It put them on an even playing field. The only problem, TARN the Uncaring has been doing this fight for much longer. He is skilled. He is calculated. He let Vulcan come in on him as Vulcan lands all of these rage punches. We see TARN the Uncaring just buy his time, and when the moment was right, he took him down. What's even more impressive though is Magneto. TARN the Uncaring, again underestimating our Krakoans. He had underestimated Storm, and now he is underestimating Magneto. The moment he said yes, that helmet was coming down on his head, completely unaware that it was floating above him. This was absolutely beautifully done, and this also means that Magneto is going to be super popular. Now, he was already popular. Everything that they have been doing as the Brotherhood of Arakko, it really has gained a lot of trust with the local populace. Now that he has taken down TARN the Uncaring, many of them being oppressed by him, he is going to be a freaking hero. The question is, did Abigail Brand know this was going to happen? Did she anticipate all of this unfolding exactly like it did? Did she know Storm and Magneto would feel obligated to go against TARN the Uncaring? What game is she playing at? Because if we know anything about her, that she is always 3 steps ahead of everybody else. That may not be the case any longer. With Cable forming his little secret team, they might be the only thing to save everybody from Abigail Brand. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by hitting the super thanks button. This button will let you donate directly to the channel, and every little bit helps us out. And if you can't do that, do me a favor, like this video, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, and until the next breakdown.